8 times parliamentarian, author, animal rights activist, and environmentalist. There are very few people in this country that don all of these hats. In fact, if I may say so, there's just one person, and I have her with me right now, Maneka Gandhi ji. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Maneka ji, just to start off, you've won 8 times. Like I mentioned, you're an 8-time parliamentarian. Is this a walk in the park by now, or are there any fresh challenges that you still face?
No elections are ever a walk in the park. The only difference is, with my elections, is that I'm never off election mode.
Okay.
As soon as the election is over, things go on as they go on at an election. And there is a routine that is very election mode.
Okay. So the election mode is always on.
It's always on.
And what are the issues that you focus on when the election mode is always on and right now?
Well, there are two different kinds. One is getting them the large things they want. They want more roads. They want, the odd bypass, the underpass, the railway trains, etc. So those are the big ones. And the second one, which is for me more important, is really to solve their individual problems. So, thousands of people come to me and somebody has had their land seized by a neighbor. Somebody's sick and doesn't know what to do. Somebody, for instance, the people sitting outside, their daughter has just been beaten up by the boy next door. So they come with small individual issues and they trust me to solve them. And I do. So that really is what interests me. Because they have nowhere to go. There are really no institutions that help. Every official is overburdened or not responsible. So that's what I do.
Okay. And you're seeking a renewed mandate, of course. What are you basing this? What is the plank for this renewed demand?
It's exactly the same. They've actually never repeated MP. And this time they asked for me. I mean, literally, even the opposition sat on dharna asking for me.
Oh, wow.
So, because of this, for them it's new that somebody would come and work for them, with them, individually, as well as for all the big things they wanted.
Okay.
So, the government has been very helpful in the sense that every time I've asked for something big, they've given it. So, there's a reasonable fulfilling of large expectations.
Okay. And are you seeking a mandate for Modi or are you seeking a mandate for Maneka?
I'm seeking a mandate for India.
For India?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, obviously it's a combination of everything. Mr. Modi, the party, me. In order for it to be successful, it would have to be a combination of everything.
And there's one thing that we cannot escape discussing. It is about Varun being denied a ticket. What was the reason, according to you? Why do you think that was done? And do you think the High Command has been unfair to him?
Well, let's just say that it wasn't called for. Yeah, he was a very, very good MP, even issue-wise and for his constituency. But I'm sure what will happen in future is that whatever he continues to do, it will be good for him, it will be good for India.
Right. And we know that along with Varun, of course, 20 to 30% of the MPs have been denied tickets this time. As a senior party leader, could you tell us a bit more about the strategy? Why was this done?
I really am clueless. I'm nowhere near the levers of decision making. So I am clueless as to why they did it. I suppose if the criteria was members of parliament who didn't work or something, I have no idea. But it wasn't really that criteria.
Another question, as a senior party member, if you were given a relatively light portfolio of WCT and the second term that was taken away, how do you feel about this? Could you tell us a bit more about this?
Firstly, the light portfolio became a heavy portfolio.
Right.
And it was the only thing that changed India in the sense that the Beti Bachao worked. So now people do not get rid of girl children.
Right.
So I was very proud of that change. and many others. For me, there's no such thing as light or heavy. I take whatever. And if I'm not a minister, I still do the best I can, wherever I can. It just gives me more time to concentrate on the things that are closest to my heart.
And one of those things is animal rights, right?
Animal welfare, institutionalizing it, environmental, work. So with me, there are 5, strings to my bow at every time. So it's just one or the other.
So I'd like to talk a bit about these things that are close to your heart. If we talk, there's been recently a lot of talk about stray dog menace, so to say. What do you have to say to that, and what do you think is the solution for that?
Well, firstly, we should get rid of the word menace. There is only one menace, and that is the human menace, which threatens every other form of life. But the stray dog problem, which is emerging, can be solved very easily by an infusion of money. When we wanted to get rid of polio, the government spent 700 crores a month for 10 years to tackle it. If we put this into the category of rabies or an anti-rabies program, the health ministry doesn't give a single rupee. There are no institutions for sterilization. There are nothing. So municipalities want to do it. Get hold of illegal NGOs who know nothing. They pick up dogs, sterilize them, throw them somewhere else, so the bites increase. There's no record keeping. It's the worst run program possibly in India, the sterilization program, because there's no money. The government puts in zero. So if a municipality puts in anything, it's done for a little while, then stopped when they run out of money, then picked up again, and it's done with untrained people. So, for instance, if they pick up a dog from here and throw them into another colony, that dog is frightened, he's confused, he will bite. So the more illegal sterilization takes place, the worse the biting situation gets. But if the government were to do this in a systematic, intelligent manner, within 3 years, we would control the entire issue.
We've also seen that along with this, of course, there's a problem of sexual abuse of animals as well. And up until now, Section 377 was tackling that. Despite the Supreme Court judgment, of course, that part was retained. But the new Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita does not have that provision. Do you have a comment on that?
No, even I'm confused by that. I went to see Mr. Shah and I said, in the last 2 years, I must have prosecuted about 27 or 28 cases. And it's a really bizarre phenomenon, which apparently has always existed, but is now being noticed because the animal welfare movement is now so big and so strong that almost every gully has got an animal welfare feeder, somebody who takes up cudgels. So this has been noticed again and again. But I don't know why they took it out, seriously.
Now talking about these elections again, the neighbouring constituencies of Amethi and Raebareli have been Congress pocket boroughs, but they haven't fielded a candidate from there yet. How do you explain this hesitation on the part of the Gandhis to field a candidate from places that have been their political pocket boroughs?
I'm clueless about that. They should have had a candidate there right now. No. They're just giving them away.
One last question to end this with. You've been a long-time parliamentarian, of course. You recently gave a speech for longest-serving parliamentarian member of the parliament. Looking back, how do you look back at this journey? Are there any regrets?
No regrets. Perhaps I could have done things better. But I took great pains to do whatever I could do to improve the situation wherever I was. So,
on that note, we've reached the end of this interview. Thank you so much, Maneka ji, for taking out the time for this and for joining us. And thank you to all our viewers for watching.